It's such an unconventional way into the international scene, isn't it, hill climbing? But it kind of worked out for you. You've done okay.
Yeah, it was a very unconventional route. And if I look back at it now, I was probably very unrealistic to think that I could turn a British Hill Climb Championship into a professional drive. But, you know, I managed to pull it off through I'd spent a long time in the wilderness with no money and trying to find the right sponsors to help me get through. But I think, you know, if you're serious enough and you're committed enough, it's still possible. But ideally, you know, to get through to top-level racing, you need to be going through karting, and you need to get into Formula Renault or Formula BMW or whatever. Get in there really, really early. You know, I just started a little bit late, and I lost a few years trying to get the money together. So it's always made me a slightly older prospect. But in a lot of ways, that's given me a great life experience. And, you know, to have a great job with BMW for the last 12 years is absolutely fantastic.
Is it that long?
Yeah, this is my 12th season now with BMW. So
job for life, mate.
Well, I hope so. You never know. I mean, I've learned a lot in motorsport over the years, and you've got to take each moment with as much, you know, commitment and as much energy as you can, and try to maximise the opportunity. And if you're doing that and you're working hard and you're achieving good results, then your future's going to be secure anyway.
Yeah, that's right. You're a good example of how you get in early doors with a manufacturer and you become their brand ambassador, and they push you in any direction they want, and it's a mutually beneficial thing.
I think, you know, with a lot of big manufacturers, and especially the German manufacturers like BMW, Audi and Mercedes, I think they expect a lot from you, but and they're very, very challenging. They want a lot from you, but they're also extremely loyal as well. And I think if you can achieve success for the brand and you can act as a good ambassador off the track and put the energy in also, not just on the driving, but in all areas, for them to justify their investment in what they're doing. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got DTM. It's a considerable expense for all the manufacturers. They're up against, you know, BMW, Audi and Mercedes racing in their back garden every weekend. It's a big commitment. It's a very important showcase. But at the same time, there's only 10, 12 races a year. So, you know, there's a period of time where you're also doing the other stuff. And I think that's where a lot of drivers have managed to extend their relationship simply because they're able to add value on and off the circuit.
When you were doing the World Touring Car Championship with the 3 Series and winning it on a frighteningly regular basis, and you heard that BMW were coming back to DTM after a 20-year absence, did you think, oh, I fancy a bit of that?
Yeah, I mean, I remember hearing a lot, and I mean, you know, with these big companies, they do keep everything close to their chest, because a little small leakage of information could end up global, especially with social networking and everything else nowadays. But I think, you know, I knew from my discussions with Dr. Tyson, knew him very well, and he was heading the Formula 1 team at that time, that it was going to be on the cards. And I was very excited about it. But you never take anything for granted, because, you know, BMW has many programs. It has the DTM, you know, it had GT, had Formula 1, you know, World Touring Cars. So you never quite know where it's going to end up for you. But for sure, when I heard the announcement that DTM was real and that BMW were coming back in, I was surprised, pleasantly surprised. Obviously, with the exit of Formula 1, this was a great opportunity for them to enter a championship that's high level, that's very relative to what they're doing. The cars look like saloon cars, so you can understand it from a marketing perspective. And from that period, then I was pushing hard, and was very happy to be one of the first drivers they signed, if not the first driver. So that was a great opportunity. That was nearly 3 years ago now.
The cars are mega, aren't they? We'd seen the McLaren Autosport BRDC Awards, the young guys who are just coming up through racing, they have a test in a DTM car, and they all say every single year the DTM car is just a monster.
It's a really, really interesting car. I mean, it really is like a Formula 1 car with a touring car, you know, body. And I think they're just good fun. You know, they've got a lot of power. You know, 500 horsepower is a lot for a touring car. Some good aero. So the car really sticks in the fast stuff. Big brakes. And I think, like with every formula, what makes it very exciting is the competition. And in DTM, you can have 10 cars separated by 1/10 of a second. And you can be on the good side or the bad side of that. And I think that raises your game, and it enables you to extract as much as you can from yourself and the package. And I think that's what makes DTM so exciting from a driver's perspective is that it is so competitive. I mean, very often you can see, as I say, 10 cars in a tenth of a second. That can put you 12th, 13th, 14th on the grid, or 4th in tenth of a second. It's nothing. That can be a mistake on the tyre pressure, or a slight, mistake from your driving, and maybe running a little bit too much curb or locking very slightly, and you've lost it. And I think that brings you to a high level, and it makes it very enjoyable for a driver when you manage to achieve it.
And in 2013, you will feel that you have to step up now, because one of your teammates won the championship.
Absolutely.
In the new M3.
Thanks for that, mate. I was really enjoying my Christmas and New Year, and now I'm back into the season
I know
again.
you put pressure on yourself. I know you do.
No, I mean, Bruno did a great job, Spengler, this year. I mean, you can't underestimate, the job he managed to pull off there. But I think more impressive was the fact that BMW produced a winning car in their first year of DTM. I would like to take a little bit of credit. I was involved in the development of that car right from the beginning. So from that perspective, I'm very proud of the job I did. Myself and Augusto were the first drivers to test the car, and I think we did an okay job. But what was most impressive was the technical input, the development of the car to make it a winning car immediately. And on top of that, witnessing, looking at Bruno and Martin Tomczyk, my two teammates, between them, they've had 20 years of DTM experience, so they're still only in their 20s or early 30s. So you can't underestimate the importance of that. Learning new tracks for me was also a challenge in terms of we can all go out and drive on a new track, but knowing the absolute details of how the track develops during the weekend, knowing the tricks of the trade in DTM, that's all of my experience from the first year. This is my second year in DTM. I feel like a DTM driver now. Towards the end of the season, I started getting some good results. I did score the very first points for BMW in the first race in Hockenheim.
Yes,
that was a very proud moment.
Yeah.
But definitely my performance was there, and enough for BMW to say, Andy's worth a DTM drive again. And I think that for this year, my expectations are to be right at the front, and that's what I expect from myself. Whether it's going to happen or not, I can't promise that. But definitely my goal is to be regular front runner, and I hope I can achieve it.
We know you'll be giving it your best shot. We wish you all the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Priaulx. Thank you, mate.